And the conversation we are having is how to communicate best in a marriage. That was a conversation we had on call last week.
That's right.
And let's now talk about your marriage. How did you and your wife meet? And how was it from the beginning?
I would still advise that you check Love is Blind, Stroke Citizen TV.
Yeah.
My wife explains how it was. But basically, I'm a blind person, visually impaired, we say.
Yes.
I need a lot of assistance sometimes when moving around.
Yes.
I was still a bachelor at that time, and I was living in a certain area in this city. Actually, I was living in Rongai at that time.
Okay.
And I was coming to town on a Sunday, going to church. I am, a church attender.
Yes.
So on a Sunday, as I was coming to church, I was alone, seated somewhere in a Nissan Matatu, and in front there, reaching town, I found myself at railways. I needed to go all the way up to Ambassador. I asked the conductor to help me see how I can move up. And then some lady came up from behind and she said, "Hi, can I be of help?" And I said, "Wow, sure. Take me to Ambassador. I would like to take a double M bus to Buruburu. That's where I was going to church."
Yes.
Reaching there, there were no double M buses. We were advised to go further. I said, "I'm already late." And then this lady tells me, "I'm actually going to church and I'm late." I told her if I'm to go down to Mudhurwa, I would be late also.
Yes.
So since you are going to church, in fact, she's the one who suggested it. Since I'm going to church, why can't we then just go together to my church? And we proceeded to her church. I made friends with the pastor there. In fact, that pastor, I've just met him today.
Oh,
Interestingly,
amazing.
we've connected for years. And I attended the church. It was at a hotel that time, somewhere at New Stanley Hotel.
Yes.
And after the service, she introduced me to the pastor, and then the pastor noticed I love church and all those things, and I started attending one Sunday after the other. It wasn't long before I joined the church. It wasn't long before they even helped me secure some sponsorship from Coca-Cola to run my project.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then slowly by slowly, we connected with the lady. We started communicating, and the rest is history. That's what happened.
That's how you met.
Yes.
So, how was it at the beginning? So you you met, you fell
Yes.
in love, you got married.
Yes.
How was the marriage, let's say, for the first 2 years?
Okay, let me say this. I know she could be listening.
Okay.
Because we've spoken just before I came over.
Yes.
We are working on reconciliation.
That's
Let
amazing.
that be clear.
That's amazing.
We got married, lovely wedding, and very well attended at Sitam Karen. And it was great. And then after 6 months, we separated for 2 good years.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
What happened?
well,
And that's a very long time.
yes, Karigo, let me tell you,
Yes.
for us church people, I hope I'm not playing self-righteous.
Okay.
For people who attend church from, youthful age, I've been a Sunday school boy, then I became a youth leader in the church. So I've been a church boy. So when we got into this relationship, I ended up with a church girl.
Okay.
And we had a principle, that had been put in us for so long. Don't visit each other so much, before you get married.
Yeah. During the courtship period.
Yes, it's good for Christians, but it's a bit detrimental. We didn't know each other. Believe you me, we met in 2008.
Okay.
We married in 2014. And we didn't visit each other even once in our homes.
What?
I think there was one time she came with her sister, if I'm not wrong. And it was for a few hours. And then we would just meet maybe at a hotel.
Yeah.
Or maybe we would be speaking on phone just once in a year. I remember there was a year we spoke once. That must have been 2009. Once in the whole year. We would meet on Sundays. Hi on Sundays in the church.
This is before the marriage or after the marriage?
Before the marriage.
Okay.
We married in 2014.
2014.
We met in 2008.
Okay. Yeah.
We didn't know each other. You know, we were Christians. Good boy, good girl.
And when you say we did not know each other,
yes,
you know, politely describe it, because I know what you're saying.
Yes.
I came from a place. I used to go to a church where you could not even hold hands with your boyfriend because of boundaries. Yeah.
At least we could hold hands.
We could not hug. Yeah, the boundaries were put in place because, you know, according to Christianity, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
So when you say we did not know each other, kindly describe it so that the listener can be aware of what you mean by that.
Okay, this is what I mean.
Yes.
You see, when you have one phone call in a whole year, when you don't visit each other in a house setting, you don't understand each other. You know, when you meet at a hotel, Karigo,
yes,
it's easy to act up. For 1 hour, 2 hours, you can act up. I'm telling you.
You send your representative, as the Duchess puts it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
But when you visit each other regularly, you get into issues, you know. You don't just see the way you treat the waiter. You know, sometimes it's not how you speak to each other. It's how you talk to the waiter. That's you. You don't, just know each other that way. You need to be in a home setting and then suddenly a glass falls and breaks.
Yeah.
You know, in an Ushago setting, you need to be at a situation where the eagle comes and chases the chicken. You know, you are suddenly there, the lady looking nice, and then the eagle comes and takes one of the chicks. Then suddenly this calm, cool, collected lady shouts some mother tongue words on that eagle, and you're like, my God, how did that come out? You know, now you start knowing each other, how you react in stress, how you react in anger, how you react when things happen. And that is the real you. So what happens with us who go to church? We are denied that time. It's good. You know, it protects us from sin, premarital sex, obviously.
Yes.
But then you lack that advantage of knowing each other. And there's an advantage of time that you are missing out on. You know, being together in an outing, going out to swim together, going out for dinner together, being in a house setting, maybe, you know, I see people going for birthday parties together and all those things. You know each other, how you react around relatives, how you react, you know, around friends.
Yeah.
That's the real you. And many of the people who are very principled miss out on that, you know, and it's a great disadvantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So we didn't know each other. So suddenly we get married and we have 24 hours, 7 days a week, 364 days. And you realize, my God, this is not exactly what I knew. You start knowing each other, and then you realize, my God, the lady is speaking Sheng. I'm speaking Queen's English.
Yes.
The Queen is dead.
Yeah.
London Bridge is down.
Yes.
Now you realize, can I match the Sheng, and can she match this other side of me? And then you start noticing, hey, hapa kuna issue. Yeah. And it was so serious. We suddenly realized we are two different people, you know.
What was the first indicator? You've said, because you said you got married for the first 6 months you were together.
Yes.
And you separated for 2 years after.
Yes.
What is it? What are the first for you?
Yes.
Because you're the one sharing the story.
Yes.
What were the first signs of, like, oh my God, what did I marry?
Okay.
Like, what happened?
I
Like,
know she could be listening.
Yeah.
And I don't mind because we've shared.
Yes.
So she gave me permission to share
it's
some of these
consensual.
things.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, how else will we know anyway if you don't share, right?
Yeah. Sorry, can I cough?
Yes, you can.
Sorry.
Paul,
Yeah.
I mean,
You
how
see
else will we know?
diplomatic I am? Yes. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, let me tell you, when you've been raised,
And don't sugarcoat.
I'm not sugarcoating.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm speaking the reality.
Yes.
And she knows it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
When you've been raised by a single parent, a mom, and then the mom is, how do we call it? She goes to work. She was a banker. So you've been raised with a certain type of lifestyle, spoken to in a certain way. I was not really a mommy's boy per se.
Yes.
But there was a way I was raised, Suddenly I get married to someone who is totally opposite. Sheng, simple as it sounds, was quite an issue for me.
She used to speak a lot of Sheng.
Not so much, but average.
Like,
And it was quite an issue.
okay.
She was this outgoing person. I wasn't. I was more of
An introvert?
an introvert, sort of.
Yeah.
Not extremely, but somehow.
Okay.
But she was this person who could just talk to people. And as you're talking to each other, the first thing that hit me, things like, unakaje, okay, I don't know whether to say that. She could say something that could appear like abusive, but that's love.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, I'm looking for words that she would use easily. Sijui ulitoka wapi wewe, sijui ulizaliwa wapi wewe. Such things.
Yeah.
I was like, God, no. Come on, you need to respect me. Now I would start from there. And it would be one issue after the other.
Oh my
She'd tell me, I love you. Then I tell her, I don't understand the language of love. I understand the language of respect. In fact, if you respect me,
Yes.
I would say you love me.
Yes.
Then she would say, I love you so much. When kumbafu sana. I didn't know that's love. That's it's like hitting you and pulizering again.
Oh my God.
And then I'm like, come on, I'm blind. Then she would tell me, we unajua umebembelezwa sana na mamako. Mimi nimekupenda vile uko. You should just be you. Jonah, you are such a guy. So sitakupembeleza venye your mama alikupembeleza. And that was so offensive to me. She would just like, speak to me like, we unaeza sana, why did I get married to you?
Oh,
I got married to you because unaweza. And to me it was like baptism by fire. Suddenly I was out of this. Okay, my mom died in 2012.
I'm sorry.
I gave my dowry in 2013. Yeah, lots of monies, by the way. I thank God for that because I appreciated her. That was how I valued her. And then we went ahead and married. So I was like, my mom is suddenly out. Now this is who I have. It became an issue. Seriously. Suddenly, we could quarrel. I started becoming defensive.
Okay.
I started becoming defensive. I remember using words to her like, you are taunting me. You are taunting me. Don't tell me such things.
But what would cause the conflict? What would be the reason? What would be a trigger for you to have a conflict? Like
Okay.
in what scenario? Like someone would say maybe She came late, or you came late, or what was the reason for the conflict?
Okay. I remember there was a time I attended a meeting with some leaders, and we were seated. I also deal with in the disability sector.
Yes.
I've been found in different areas. So amongst there were leaders, some politicians, NGO leaders and such. So we were seated at a table, and I remember having one lady around us at the table, a few others. My good friend, who I know is listening, Isaac Mwaura was there, Professor Julia Ojambo was there.
Yes.
These people wouldn't mind me mentioning their names, a
Yes.
few other people. And then someone came and served us. We were at a hotel. I think that was Safari Park. And then someone came and served me, a hotelier. And then she decided, no, I'm taking over. This is my person.
Your partner?
Yes.
She said she's taking over.
She's taking over. So the waitress was, okay, that's okay, you take over. So, and I knew this would create a problem. Immediately, she made a comment, and I'm talking of these triggers. So kuletu, kwani wacha utoto. That's what she said.
Kwani, what were you doing?
No, that's her. That's her.
But
She has love. So she's saying, wacha utoto, wacha kula nyama kwanza.
Aya.
That's her. She's herself. Okay, we may be with dignitaries and such, but that's her. It took me time to understand her. Wacha utoto, wacha shika, hii plate iko hivi. Then I'm like, come on. I'm trying to step on her. I don't want to mention her name. As soon as we finished the meeting, we started quarreling immediately. Unezaje kuniambia wacha utoto mbele ya watu?
Okay.
Those are the kind of things, let me tell you, when you're visually impaired,
Yes.
when you're blind, then you're sensitive to environments. We could have known each other during courting that there are such issues. Can I cope with that? So she was like, Jonah, mi siwezi kukubembeleza. Uko juu tu sana. I mean, kwani, see, we are talking. So me, I'm like, no, you can't say that in the presence of my leaders and my good friends. Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, lots of greetings to Isaac Mwaura.
Yes.
Because he's counseling with us. In fact, tomorrow we are having a meeting. Him, my wife, and him. He's walked a journey with us of, trying to reconcile us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we are in studio, you and I, with Jonah Simba. He's a motivational speaker and a TV host. And today, he's giving us the gems on how to communicate best in a marriage. And today is Thursday, so today is Thursday, and on Thursday we have Shout Out Thursday. So a big shout out to Isaac Mwaura on your behalf, Jonah.
Thank you.
Keep it locked. We are the adults in the room. Adults in the room, just in case you're wondering, yes. And we have in studio Jonah Simba. It's about 9 minutes to the top of the hour, and we are talking about how to communicate best in a marriage. And Jonah is visually impaired, and he's a caller who shared with us his story, and now he's come back to give us the breakdown and to just share with us his gems. And before we went on that Beyonce break, you were sharing with us the triggers, and you shared about how she made a statement during, in the presence of your friends and dignitaries, and you are just trying to share that those are the triggers. So now it's 6 months. What was the enough moment where you are like, hapa staki? What happened?
Let me just say we are working. Let me remind
Yes.
you that
And
we
they are
are
working on their relationship.
reconciliation.
Yes.
And also let me remind you that she could be listening.
Yes.
Actually, she is listening.
I hope she is. Then she can come and hear her
Yes,
story.
yes.
No, the way Kenyans say, we want to hear the other side of the story.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that I'm sugarcoating.
No,
Yes,
no.
I'm just becoming kindly honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, not brutally honest. Yeah.
You're having a lot of empathy.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but I wish you'd be brutal, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when did the cookie crumble? At what point? What happened?
I really don't know what happened. To
Okay.
be honest, it was little thing after little thing. We were just not communicating properly. We would get into a quarrel progressively. Initially, it was like, you can't talk to me like that. Why did you say that? Then it grew to, no, I have to be to defend myself now.
Okay.
How do you talk to me like that? Then it grew to, and that time you are talking something good. You like at last we were actually building our home. Do you know what it takes to build a home? It's a joyous affair. We had bought land.
Okay.
We were now building. We had actually we were groundbreaking. Such a joyous thing that was up there in Transoya, in Kitale.
Yes.
We were now building, and it was great. And just one morning, as we were, talking, it came up again. And I just said, no, you can't talk to me like that. We are supposed to be moving to this building site, and you're bringing that up. I just can't even exactly know the details. It's quite some time. I've forgiven a lot. She has forgiven a lot. Suddenly, she just says, I'm going. And then she walks out. She happens to be coming around Transoya also.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know how she managed to go. And their home area wasn't that very far from where we had bought
The land.
Yes, and it was quite a distance, but not so far. It's also within Transoya.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of hours, and she was at her home. But it was just one little thing after another little thing, and I would arrest it. I would literally arrest it. As she's saying it, I'm becoming defensive. No, you can't talk to me like that. Why do you say that? Okay, let's proceed with the conversation. Now, we were talking about the bags of semen. Come on. Then she brings in that was her. There is a way she would speak.
Yes.
To me, I was looking at it like, no, this is taunting, abusive. But she was looking at it like, this is my nature. And that's why I say, Karigo, sometimes when you're Christians, and I'm not changing morals here, I'm not trying to bring in identity crisis for youths, Christian youths. We still should uphold values. But I'm just bringing out that inside of you, you should be strong enough not to engage in premarital sex when your girl visits. Because it is because of that many of the churches advise their young ones, if you're visiting with, your spouse, have a third party.
Yeah.
That is not
a chaperone.
Good. When it could have been just me and her in a house setting.
Yeah.
She could have known me and I could have known her.
Yeah.
We didn't have that advantage. So we started to know each other right in the evening of the honeymoon at the hotel, as we were preparing to move out of the country, because we went to a hotel, then we left the country for 2 weeks. So when we were in the hotel, believe it or not, issues began that evening of the honeymoon.
Real? What happened?
Hey, I can't get into details. I have to protect us. I have to protect and protect me.
Okay.
But it wasn't a bad quarrel.
Okay.
There were just things like, we were quiet at each other, completely quiet. She was on phone with her people. I was on phone with my people. Suddenly when we talk, it would be like, there was no chemistry. We didn't build that chemistry of wow, we are enjoying each other's company. Can you believe you're at a hotel in a honeymoon evening, watching your clip, because we were brought on news, 7 o'clock news and 9 o'clock news. Now we were watching the 9 o'clock news. There we were, and people were like, come on, we are seeing you here, blah, blah. Those people who didn't attend the wedding. And there she was on phone call with her people. I was on phone call with my people. Some of the people were, why didn't you tell us, blah, blah, blah. Then when there were no phone calls, we were quiet. We were not chatting. No.
Were you scared of each other?
Not at all. We didn't have the chemistry. Wow. Even as we were traveling out of the country, we were in a company, of some wazungus, obviously, of course, but we were not chatting. I remember the wazungus were talking in the place where we were chatting. You could think they were the ones who had married. We were quiet all the way.
What?
Yes. At some point, I started feeling, what's happening? Come on, talk to me, lady.
But why were you not talking?
We were not friends.
So now you've married somebody and you don't know them.
We were not talking. Come on. We were meeting in church. Hi. But we were not friends. You know the way I can sit with you, Karigo, and talk about nothing? We didn't have it. We were not talking.
But Jonah, I'm a bit confused.
This was a situation we were in.
I'm a bit confused because...
Yes.
Are you trying to say that...
Yes.
The period that you courted, you never had conversations? So how did you get married?
Our conversations were on point. We would meet to talk about our wedding. Let's talk about the wedding day. And we would have our, best couple. Now they are living in Australia. Thanks be to them. They worked very hard when we separated at first for the 2 years until we reconciled again.
Jonah, hold that thought for 1 second. We are going to the top of the hour.
All right.
And don't forget what you are saying, because I will not forget. We are in studio with Jonah Simba. How to communicate best in a marriage. This is the Adults in the Room.
Shocking you?
Sugar and spice and everything nice. Sugar and spice and everything nice.
Good evening. It is the top of the hour. The show is the Adults in the Room. My name is Karigo Gatere. We have in studio Jonah Simba, motivational speaker, TV host, and he's sharing with us his story, his life story with him and his wife. And it's about how to communicate best in a marriage. And I want to point it out there that they're currently working on reconciliation. So everything you hear is in the past. It's not in the present, right?
Right.
And it's the reason why you are in reconciliation. And I must say, Jonah, that's such a brave thing to do. People rarely reconcile. People go on with life. But just before the break, you were telling me that, and I asked you, okay, when you met before you got married, what did you used to talk about? Nothing.
May I cough again?
Yes, please do. Sorry, Pole Sana.
Don't worry.
It is the AC.
Thank you for the AC. It's turning warm. Yeah.
It's the AC. It gives us any person for the first time who enters into the studio.
Yes.
It gives them that effect.
Yeah, but I've noticed it's being turned a little warm now.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I have to keep
you.
switching it off and switching it on.
Thank you.
So, what you never used, because I'm trying to think, like if a man is courting me,
Yes.
he will know me, he will know my family, my friends. He'll know that I like to shower twice a day. I like my eggs runny.
Yes.
I like to eat chips. I don't like to go to the bar. These are the things we get to know when we are courting.
And
But now you're saying that
Yes.
on your wedding night, on your travel in the plane, you are not talking.
okay, we were not in the plane.
Sorry, wherever
We
you are
didn't
going.
We didn't go very far, but
Where-
we were.
the means of
we
the
were-
transport.
We were
yeah.
we were within the region.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And you're
but
not talking.
We were not talking, and as I said, there were that vehicle, we were the only Africans apart from the driver.
Yes.
The rest of the people were whites, and they were having
The time of their life.
excited conversations. I think they were tourists
Yeah.
going somewhere.
Yeah.
So we were so quiet. It looked like, come on, are we inferior, intimidated? Yet we had just had a wedding the previous day.
Yeah.
And it disturbed my mind. I tried once, I tried severally to strike a conversation with my lady.
Okay.
And it wasn't working. Then I noticed, come on, we can't talk. And that was the beginning of issues. Even at the hotel, we were not talking much. And you know, Karigo, this is in conversation. You know each other during courtship. We had several years, 2008 to 2014. How many years are those? 6 years.
6, yeah.
We had 6 years to talk, to create some kind of chemistry. Let me tell you, when people talk, no wonder in Swahili there is the word kutongozana. You've heard of such a word?
Yes.
This is adults in the room.
Yes.
So I can use such a word. So you
yes.
should be able to talk flat with each other. Talk
And-
talk about nothing.
Yeah,
I
because that's
couldn't.
what the honeymoon period is about.
Yes.
So-
Forget about honeymoon. Even just being together, you should be able to talk. We don't have that. To date, we are trying. Many times when we are talking, it's either we are talking about something, very focused conversation, which I can do in business. When I'm talking to you about business,
Yeah.
we have a focused conversation.
Yes.
I prefer when I talk to my lady, we talk about nothing. I missed it. And it worked so badly on my mind until I became stressed. Because I noticed when I'm hanging around relatives, especially my sisters, we could talk. My mother had died. Now my sisters would hang around me and we would talk about nothing, laugh about nothing.
Yeah.
And she could do the same with her sisters and brothers. And then another pointer, when we were now in our house,
Yeah.
when it's just me and her, we were quiet. We had to bring in her sister to live with us for us to have some life. Because she would always be talking. And then problems. She would be talking in mother tongue with her sister.
And you don't get it.
I don't get it. But I was just happy that there was some conversation.
Yeah.
Because I was missing conversation in my house. So I preferred some kind of talking. So whenever they would talk in mother tongue, then they would laugh and I would say, "What are you laughing at?" And guess who would explain?
The sister.
She would tell me and I would laugh. And not her. Then she would go and talk to her sister. That's a problem.
I gotta ask, Jonah,
Yes.
because this must be running in everybody's mind.
Yes.
You're saying you never used to speak. Now you're married. This is the house you're living in.
Yes.
The sister had to come in, and this is during the 6 months, right?
Yes.
How was the intimacy then? Was there no intimacy? Was there intimacy?
It was a quiet intimacy.
Guy.
And I'm telling you, it worked on our sex life. Do you know that sex is psychological?
Yes, it is.
It begins in the mind.
I agree.
So I couldn't access her mind. She couldn't access mine. By the grace of God, we have lovely boys. 2.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Wow.
7 and 4. My younger boy is celebrating his 4th birthday this coming Sunday.
Happy birthday to him.
Thank you. By the grace of God.
So intimacy was not affected.
Intimacy.
Were you
Sex
just
life.
doing it because you have to do it, or were you feeling like I want to do
I
it?
would be honest.
Yeah.
I would be honest. It wasn't enough.
Oh, okay. You wanted more.
We would have more. Do you know it starts in the mind?
When you say it was
Marriage
not enough,
without excitement. Sorry for cutting you short.
that's fine. It's
Karigo.
okay. It's okay. Continue.
Sorry. Marriage without a joyous sex life is dead.
I agree.
Yeah.
Though I've never been married, but I've
Go-
cohabited.
Go to YouTube. I like that. I like that. Go to YouTube and look at the picture of my wife. Many people tell me she has the body. She's a proper Kalenjin stroke Mluya lady. So she has it.
The physique and
The
all.
physique, she has it. She's a properly formed African lady.
Oof.
Yeah, many men would go for her. But I was not having enough of the sex life, not because there was infidelity, no.
Yes.
Not because there was violence, no. You will search for those things in our affair. Up to now, you will not get it. But just because we didn't have the aspect of kutongozana in our conversation, we don't have it. We are not flirting. We are not talking to each other about nothing. We are not sweet talking.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we would quarrel more than talk. Unaniongeleshaje? Come on. Na kuongelesha hivyo kwani si mimi niliraiziwa hivyo? No, I was raised differently. Okay, misi mamako.
Wow.
Unasikia? Okay, fine. You are not my mother, but you are my darling. Okay, fine. This is different. Ukileta stories za mom hapa, you know, then I'm like, I have to bring this back. Okay, dear, I'm saying, ukiniongelesha next time usiseme hivyo. Pressure.
Wow.
Pressure. I'm talking about things that messed us up. You know, communication should not be to a stranger. Rule number 1 for communication, don't talk to a stranger. As in, usionge with somebody you don't know. I didn't know her. I needed to understand that when she says ini utoto, that is love.
Yeah. You did not understand her love language.
I didn't.
Wow.
I could have known it. Then some guys were telling me, come on, I'm missing that. There was a guy who told me, a gentleman, a friend of mine, who told me, wife wangu ni mpole mpaka amenikasirisha. I said, come on, I missed that. For him, he was missing the rough side of a woman. I was missing the soft side of a woman.
Yes.
Because my wife was just too rough in conversation. And some people were telling me, you have that and you're complaining? You should get a mpole lady. You will notice it's not good. Now, there are things I was starting to learn that I should have learned in courtship.
Yes.
You've cohabited.
Yes.
Okay. Let me not say anything.
No, just
But
say it. I am
you learn-
against it now.
You learn. I'm not against it.
You-
But
okay.
you learn a lot about it.
You do.
You know, you learn about your spouse in that relationship. Of course, as Christians, we advise stay away from sex until you
Yes.
marry.
Yes.
But I would tell people, much as you're staying away from sex, don't stay away from being just you and her. Put your brakes, but kuwa na yeye when she's angry, kuwa na yeye when she's stressed, then learn her. I noticed that that rough side was not working for me.
Do you think that maybe she was being rough because you had recently lost your mom? Did that ever cross your mind? That, oh, you have nowhere else to go. I'm it.
Not really.
Okay.
I would think that was just her. You know, she came from a certain background. I came from a certain background. She was from a big family, where people, cousins and all. And they would visit each other a lot and talk a lot, And I was from this place where, we were, okay, we had an extended family, but our mom would keep us so close to each other. We were close. 2 brothers, 2 sisters, very close. I know my sister, Christine, big up. She's listening, by the way.
Shout out to you, Christine.
Yes, she's listening. And our sister could, we were closely knit. We understood each other. There's a way we would talk to each other, that kind of pollenness.
You
Yeah.
growing up, the foundation you came in was not from that harshness and noise and conflict. So this is the first time you're experiencing.
No, our mom was harsh.
Okay.
Our mom,
Yeah.
that's a story.
Yeah.
Our mom was harsh
Yeah.
to the point that she protected us so much from the environment. She raised us well.
Yeah.
I thank God for her. But she protected us so much from, interactions that would mess us up. But, that in itself is good. But there's something that I didn't learn. I should have learned that ladies,
Yeah.
hey, I have phobia for ladies now.
Ladies finish.
No, I have phobia.
Yeah.
When ladies get rough,
Yes.
it's not an exciting thing.
Had your wife ever been rough in the first 6 months?
Yes.
Physically?
No. In terms of
verbally.
verbally.
Yeah.
To the point that I thought that maybe she was abusing me, but she wasn't. According to her, she wasn't.
But she actually was.
Okay, me, I thought it was psychologically demanding on me.
Yeah.
Psychologically, emotionally straining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say she
Let me tell you, when you're spoken to in front of people in a certain way as a man,
it's demeaning.
you feel very demeaned. You want to be spoken to in a certain way in front of your colleagues, in front of other people. She didn't have that kind of, mind. For her, this is my husband. This is me. I love you. So I can tell you anything, anywhere. You are my man. Kwani.
But that's
So that was too rough for me.
yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. So when you say she left,
Yeah.
why did she leave? What was her reason?
First time or second time?
Ooh, the
Because
first time.
First time, the communication. We were strangers. It just
And
became
it was
too rough
month
for
what?
us. Yes.
It was what time of the how many months in the marriage?
6 months.
Okay.
She walked out after 6 months.
Yeah.
And it became a bit embarrassing for me. I had to go and stay far away. I went do you know a place called Kilimambogo?
Yes, I know Kilimanjaro.
I went and rented a place deep near the game park at Oldonyo Sabuk.
Yeah. Why?
I would come to Nairobi, do my things and go back there because of the embarrassment. You've done a big wedding.
Oh, and it's been televised.
It was televised and many people attended, including my good friend Isaac Maura, Mary Atieno. I had celebs coming. I think SK Blue and the rest of the people.
I know SK Blue.
And the rest of the people,
Yeah.
they came. In fact, let me tell you something. For can I mention the studio, Citizen?
Well,
When
you
they
already
came.
did.
When I came,
Yeah.
I didn't know even they were coming. When I came and to the venue, I just found these media people and they came to me and they asked me, sir, can we cover your wedding?
Yes.
I said, sure, you are already here.
Anyway.
And I welcomed them.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you are separated. So many things started flying around. So many. For a blind person, you hear so much.
Yes.
And I was wondering, am I moving into stigma? I started, getting worried and very embarrassed. My self-esteem started getting shaken. I moved away. And many times I would come once in a week to do things at the Kenya Union of the Blind and then go back. That time I had consultancy with them. So I would come, just do things with them and then go back, because, I didn't want the embarrassment. It was just quite a lot for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was now the other side. There were pastors involved and the community involved and friends involved. It just became quite heavy.
Yeah.
Psychologically demanding. That was for the first separation.
The second one?
The second separation,
Wow.
habituation.
That is a very big sigh.
Yeah, it was just habituation.
Define habituation.
You can go into your Google.
Yes.
I was given that word by my counselor, Isaac
Yeah.
Maura.
Yes.
You can go into Google and check it.
Yes.
It means just getting used to each other. Do you know, I'm so proud of my wife and my children that despite everything, I would speak about them. You can check even the things I spoke about them on your papers, the standard paper.
Yes.
What is it called? Yeah, I was
Yes.
put a whole page.
Yes.
One of the Sundays.
Yes.
Proud of my family.
Yeah.
But my wife just got bored. She just walked away
Again.
after 6 years, and she just like that. You know, just walked off. I went to church on a Sunday, and she calls me and tells me, I don't think the house has been robbed. Ni mimi tu nimechukua vitu and I've left.
How old were the kids then? Two
We're
and
talking of this January. In January this year, 7 and 3 point. You know, my younger one is turning 4 this September.
So we are talking about
She
this
just got
year.
bored.
Yeah.
Habituation. And again, it goes back to communication. You know, when you are not friends, Karigo, you get bored. Just together like that, you are not friends. When relatives are not around, you are not talking. You are more friends to, you know, when we are going to our home, our lovely home, by the way, I am proud of our home. When you are going there, unless there is a second, third party, you are just not happy. So you have to bring in someone else to bring in. Have you ever gone out and you say, siendi now bila wewe? You are calling a friend. So that was the thing. She would bring in her sister, or I would bring in my person, kushikisha. Without that, me and her, we can't.
For 6 years.
For good 6 years, we can't. The chemistry is just not there. And you know, it's affecting the bedding. It's affecting
Yes.
the bedroom.
Yes.
It's affecting everything.
Yes.
So we are like strangers. These are two strangers trying to fit in. And we met in church. When we were going to, you know, pay dowry for each other, we noticed we come from same place, almost the same place. Our peros know each other. You know, the uncles, they're like, oh, they meet at the marketplace. We didn't even know we come from the same area. We should have even known when we were courting. We almost married relatives. 'Cause these are things that should have come out. In fact, when we were like paying the dowries and doing those Rurasho issues, the parents were like, this is how people in Nairobi end up marrying their own
relatives.
sisters.
Yeah.
We didn't know that we come from the same area. Simple, small things like those ones. We didn't know.
And you know, Jonah,
Yes.
that's the part that I'm really failing to reconcile.
Yes.
How did you just not know each other all that time, and then now you get married, and when you get married is when you're knowing each other?
I thank God for church. I will never blame the church.
But it feels
'Cause
like
I've been built in the church.
But it feels like the church has played a very big role in
I
this
obeyed.
experience.
And that's why I'm saying I obeyed the principles of the church, dogmatic, and I'm not questioning the dogmatism
yeah.
because that's what has formed me.
Okay.
But I'm asking people to bring in wisdom
Yes.
that is not out of the scriptures.
Yes.
Very key. My brothers in the church and my sisters in the church know each other. You know, you meet each other in the church. Wow, that's a lovely sister. She loves God. I love my wife because she loves God. Trust me, sit with my wife. She will take you through the Bible and the love of God. You will love God. But when it comes to relationship, me and her, kaput, zero.
But did you have premarital counseling?
We did. And our pastors would tell you, this is a lovely match.
Guy.
Because I was there when you call me on the pulpit. In fact, hopefully soon, I'm traveling even to Ethiopia to preach.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I went to Rwanda to preach.
Yes.
Go to the places I've ministered.
Yes.
You know, people love me as a minister. Occasionally, I'm not a pastor. I'm a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
But I'm called to churches to do that. But to my own dear wife,
That's
we didn't have the chemistry. So people love you. And I think ladies even fall for you because you are on the pulpit. This is a lovely man of God. I wish I get married to him. And then they come, and then you realize you are walking with the principles of church without the principles of God, because God's principle is love.
I get.
Yeah. Absolute truth.
Absolutely.
That is an independent truth that is true to all people. Love. Because love accepts each other the way they are.
Yes.
So you realize that you are not walking in love because you don't have the chemistry. And love demands that you have the chemistry. And we are working now on the chemistry. 6 years. Why should habituation be there? That mumeboeka na each other. And then you go out there, and I'm not advocating for, life outside church, but you go out there, guys are partying, having fun. There is that chemistry of, you can say, love. Is there a song like, what's love got to do with it?
Yes, there
I
is.
wish I knew what it meant.
What's love got
What
to
does
do?
that song mean?
Got to do with it.
I think
it's
yeah, let me not mess your mind. But there is something about love that is key.
Yeah.
When you talk to your mother and you are talking about nothing and just feeling good around her, that is love.
I accept.
When you talk to your sister, the way I talk to my sister, I'm telling you, the moment my sister Kristen walks in a room, however tensed I was,
You relax.
I just start relaxing. That is how I should feel about my wife. Whenever my wife steps in a room, immediately I get tensed.
Even today.
Well, it has changed.
Okay.
With time, rather than tension, I feel defensiveness. It has grown to the worst. That feeling of, come on, this is the worst person to me. This is the person who has messed me.
Yeah.
It should not be so. And now I'm busy working on that chemistry. She's busy working because she keeps saying, I love Jonah. And I keep saying, I love her. I can't say her name.
No.
So the thing is this, we are now 6 years, battling with getting used to each other. We are parenting, and that's already an issue. So she's there, busy trying to win, using, this boy, even this boy doesn't, is seeing what you're doing. So parenting itself is an issue because now the children are being brought in. Angalia, the boy already has seen. Me, I don't want this boy to see we are quarreling. And whenever the boy looks like they are so close to you and so close to her, there's that psychological, I don't know whether that's now what we call power struggles. I don't know. There's that feeling of now you're trying to pull the boys to each other. It's
Or making them to
toxic.
choose.
It's toxic. Now, the children, suddenly, they love mommy and they love daddy, but whenever you are together and they are around mommy feels funny. When the kids are around daddy, when the kids are around mommy, daddy feels funny. And then when there's financial pressure, you start having excessive pressure about money. Because anything, you're already like dry sticks, ready to explode.
Yeah.
So when there's financial pressure, school fees for the children and money for just moving around every day, there's now pressure. Now you have reason to even quarrel. And then suddenly you are busy moving around, trying to meet up. Sorry, I have not driven my first vehicle up to now. I'm working hard on buying my first car. God should help me in my motivational work to at least buy the first car. So you are trying to meet up with your midlife crisis.
Yes.
So you are going out more. So you are missing out more time on knowing each other. No wonder she gets even more bored. Now what's this about? I'm just bored. It's better I walk out.
Wow.
And she's just happy being away. She's not missing me. I'm not missing her. And that's sad. We try. Today, I gave her a phone call and we said, I love you, darling. She said, I love you. And I pray that it is true, that truly we are loving each other. that when I say I love you, it comes from the heart. I'm telling you, when you get someone who loves you, Karigo,
Yes.
don't leave her. Hold on to her. I'm working on building that my wife into love. She's working on building me into loving her because we are in this. We are Christians. We want to win a crown in heaven. And one principle of Christianity is that there is a reward for faith. And one principle of faith is love for one another.
Yeah.
So we are working hard on not walking in divorce because God hates divorce.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry for bringing this on your
No worries. No worries, Jonah.
I miss love. I miss it because I can see it.
When we come,
Don't walk in love. Don't walk in a marriage without love.
yeah,
It's painful. Marriage without love is just painful.
yeah, I agree. I agree. When we come back from this short break, so that we can breathe,
Yes.
I want you to highlight what specifically you meant on the call when you called us last week and said there matters hygiene and finances that really affected the marriage. I want you mostly on the hygiene when we come back. Cool?
Cool.
This is the adults in the room. So we have Jonah Simba, how to communicate best in a marriage. How to communicate best in a marriage. And just before we went into that Ashanti break, I said to you, Simba,
Yes.
that I will ask you the question on when you called us in.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned about how there's some things that contributed to the struggle of the relationship.
Right.
And you are very adamant on the hygiene part.
Yes. Let me be clear, Karigo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Explain that kindly. And I know you're very defensive of your woman.
No,
and
she-
you guys
she
are
gave me
working things
permission.
out.
She told
Yeah,
me,
yes.
darling, it's okay. We
Yeah.
are working on reconciliation.
Yeah.
If what you're sharing will help us, that's okay.
Or help anyone
And I know
else.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
as I told you, we are meeting somewhere.
Yes. With
yeah,
Isaac Maura.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some
So-
like counseling, right?
Yes, so I know even he is listening, so I don't want to be reprimanded in the meeting. But I've been given permission to share by my wife.
Kindly.
Yeah, so I may be kindly honest.
Yes.
These are things we are working on,
Yeah.
rectifying.
Yeah.
You know, Karigo, my wife would tell you that I'm extra clean.
You.
Yes, that's what she'll tell you. But I don't think I'm extra clean. I think I'm just someone who is average in demanding neatness. So when my house is cleaned, like mopped, you know, being blind, it's when you walk maybe on the floor that doesn't have carpet that you feel, wow, this house is clean. So when you walk and you feel the house is a bit funny on the floor, you say, come on, this house is dirty. When you sit on sofa seats, you don't want to feel those pieces, I don't know what they're called, some grains. You want the thing when you're placing your hand, this studio, it's smelling great. There's a nice scent around. I wish the viewer would know. This is my kind of environment. I'm a bit, I'm looking for the right word, not really a perfectionist, but I demand the best when it comes to neatness.
Okay.
It's as bad as when you don't do it, I will take a mop myself and do it. You know, that's how it is. And my wife would feel very offended because she'd say, no, you should understand we now have children and children can mess the place around. That's fine. But when they mess the place around, tidy it up. You know, let's tidy it up. There's a house help around. Let's keep the place sparkling clean. And then it would just be an issue. I'm sensitive on scents. Come on. I love my wife. She's keen. She understands me. I'm sensitive on things that can irritate you, Karigo.
Yes.
Even mouths. You know, like I'm very sensitive. The
Like
breath.
bad breath.
Yes, sensitive. Because I have no other avenue to the world. When I touch you, I move around a lady, and I just smell the lotion,
Yes.
and the nice oil, and the nice perfume. I just feel, wow, this is somebody. That's what attracts me. It keeps me at ease. But when I move around somebody and I feel like they're not smelling okay, I become, not that my wife was like that. I have to protect her, but I would really demand on these things. Okay, you are looking at me. I could feel your stare. I could feel your stare.
I mean, if that's how she was and it contributed,
No. She wasn't on the extreme, just in case the viewer thinks she was on the extreme.
Okay.
Let me say I'm a bit demanding on neatness.
And that's okay, because that's who you are.
Yeah.
And Jonah, we have a call. Let me pick it up and then we continue about the scent.
Okay.
Hello, Spice.
Karibu.
Yes.
Niko hii topic nakuanga radical sana. But for today,
Yeah. Sorry, say that again.
Nimenyenyekea ile, I am just humbled. I am just ushika hivi ukaona ni kama mtu ana describe story of your life, na sasa kwake, hello,
nakusikiza.
Mimi sasa ni kama ananipatia fast forward ya if I continued with my mistake, mali ningefika.
So you and Jonah share in the same story?
In a way. Okay, mi kwa checklist yangu kuna vitu mingi zinagonga, yes, but pale pa marriage bado, but kucohabit, kuona mtu ako hivi, hapo nimemget kabisa, na kuna point baby amesema ya maana sana, and I think it's what is bothering many young people right now. It's premarital sex. Unajua kusoma constitution inakufanyanga, it clouds your mind. It clouds your mind over so many things. Inafikanga mahali, your relationship does not make sense at all, minus the constitution. And if we're being honest, it's a big trap. It's a big trap. So people just fall.
Okay.
Kuna mmoja amesema, by the way, imenifurahisha sana, you should be around people when they are at their best and when they are at their worst, so that you know what kind of person this person is. And the biggest lesson me I've taken out of all of it, mi bado nitarudi kwa radicalization yangu, the best way to communicate in marriage is not to get married so that you don't have all that stress. Thank you.
Exactly.
Hello, Spice.
Hello.
Hi, can you reduce your volume?
Okay, my name is Joby.
Sorry, say that again.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you. Yes?
Your name is John.
My name is Joby,
Yes?
and I've been listening here from the start. I really love the topics you came up with today about communication.
Yes.
Actually, this is something that is affecting many marriages. I've been married for 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And now, in my marriage, it is the opposite way. For example, we are walking on the road, and then I just see something and I come up with a rant or something, or talk to my wife in a way that she does not like it. And then that is how we could always have some quarrels. I've been working on it. We are doing good, but I think we need to really improve. But all I'm asking is that if this conversation can be recorded, not listening right now, so that I can share with her, we can learn something, she can learn something from it. It will really improve my marriage.
Wow.
Definitely, this conversation is being recorded and it will be out before the end of the week. You're not the only person who's asked for it. We have a few people on WhatsApp saying they really want to learn a lot. So thank you so much and keep it locked.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Hello, Spice.
Hello, I'm Karigo.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. This is Njiwa.
Hi, James. Where are you calling us from?
This is Njiwa, Bob Karigo, I mean.
Jiwa. Great.
Yes.
Hiya, tell
Hello,
us.
Jonah.
What do you have to say about the conversation?
Jonah. Hello, Jonah. Hello, Jonah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can get.
Okay.
I can get it. Jonah,
Yes, please.
why don't you just call it quits? I mean, you don't deserve it. Jonah, is this the kind of person you want to go back to again? Like, seriously? Check it. Yesterday we had a speaker and she was talking about a similar thing. You don't have to waste 20 years fixing the same problem, Jonah. Call it quits. Angalia. Don't go back. Don't go back, Jonah. You don't deserve it anymore. Nimesikia uchungu sana bwana.
You, James.
James, tumekusikia. Jonah,
Yes,
umesikia
please.
James?
Yes. Can I say something? Or
Yes,
there's
please.
another caller?
No.
Okay. Let me say this to James. It's not that my wife doesn't love me.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't love my wife. We do love each other. There is something we are missing,
Yes.
and that is the communication chemistry.
Yes.
That is what we are working on.
Yes.
If I wanted to leave her today, I would be psychologically disturbed. She would be psychologically disturbed. We are working on the communication chemistry. Yes.
Let me pick this call, Jonah.
Right.
Hello, Spice.
Hello, how are you? My name is Emily.
Yes.
I'm calling you from Thika.
Okay.
I just got into the conversation. I think you were right in the middle of it.
Yes.
And I will tell Pastor Jonah, I think he says born again, he preaches,
Yes, he's a motivational speaker.
or motivational speaker. I will congratulate him for this far he has come, even for the 6 years and what he's gone through in his marriage. But I will tell him he needs to hold on. There are some things when they come up in marriage, especially where communication is concerned, they're just things that need to be sorted out and the marriage should be able to move on. He needs to accommodate his wife and his wife needs to accommodate him. There has to be a good friendship between them and he needs to fight for his space. He has to be deaf, he has to be blind and dumb in that marriage.
Thank you so much for your
We hear you.
sentiments.
And let him fight for it because some things are spiritual.
Say that again.
He has to fight for his marriage because some things are spiritual. I am 22 years in marriage. At the age of 16 years, while at 16, my husband behaved almost like he was going away. Actually, he took off for
Yeah.
a year. But through prayer, just through trusting God and knowing what our foundation was like, and we also had a wedding, like he says he had a big wedding, it just took the grace of God for him to return. And now we are happily married, raising up our kids together, and the rest is history. So he has to hold on and fight for what is his.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your sentiments.
Thank you.
Karibu.
There's a lady on WhatsApp who says, gosh, I'm so confused about the conversation. But ukweli ni kwamba, these people love each other, but they don't want to show it out. Meeting in 2006 and marrying after 6 years. In the bedroom they are good and separating 2 years and then back again. Prayers are very well needed. What do you think?
Can I say something, or do you want
Yes. No.
another WhatsApp message?
Yes. Say something. Say
All right.
something. Yeah.
Okay, let me just say this.
People are confused.
Communication is love.
Yeah.
When you go to a hotel somewhere, whether that is at some, joint, and you see a man and a woman talking and laughing at each other, that is something you should yearn for. Don't take it lightly. I hear people say that when you see a man and a woman laughing at each other in a car, then they are not husband and wife. When they are quiet at each other, then that's a husband and wife. Many marriages are moving without communication, and communication is love.
Yes.
I'm telling you, when you can talk nothing to a lady, when you say a joke to a lady and a lady laughs from the stomach, karigo, that thing malizas men. When you feel like you're just joking and she's laughing and she's making you feel on top of it, I leave the house, I just feel battered. And let me speak about what James said.
Yeah.
I'm working on the communication chemistry. It's difficult for me to call it quits because I think I still love the lady. And then I have principles, some values I hold on to.
Yes.
Identity crisis means you are putting down your values. So I don't want to put down my values for marriage. And then there's a lady who says she's been married for 22 years now.
Yes.
And the husband left at 16 years.
Yes.
I wouldn't encourage anyone to be in a marriage that will lead them to be dead. There are some marriages that are violent.
Yes.
You don't need to stay in a violent relationship. You will die.
Yeah.
You don't need to be in a place where you are being battered every day.
You're absolutely
Yes.
right.
And that's what I'm telling James, that if I was being battered by my wife, God forbid, I wouldn't be there. But my wife is just not knowing my communication chemistry, and I don't know her communication chemistry.
Yeah.
That's why there is still something holding us. But if there was infidelity, or if there was violence, then we would be talking another story in this show.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's what I may say about that.
And I like your analogy
Yes.
because there's no violence, but is there abuse, emotional abuse?
Emotional
honest.
abuse is a totally different story. Emotional abuse is relative.
Because you see, if you're not talking,
Yes. Emotionally, you feel abused.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, this is your partner. This is the mother of your children.
Yes. Emotionally, to be honest, when you're not being talked to, you feel like this lady is loyal to everybody else apart from you. And that's dangerous. You want to feel that your wife is loyal to you. But you feel that your wife is loyal to her relatives, loyal to her friends. You feel like they know more about her and you than you do know about her. And that is dangerous. So I'm working on that. I wish I win the war. I know James is listening.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at winning her. This is something I'm working on. She's not violent. I'm not violent. I pray and I know and I believe she's not moving in infidelity. And I am not.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you because
Yes.
I would even take it now personal now.
Yes. Why take it personally?
Because
Yes.
you're fighting for your marriage.
Yes.
Very few men do so.
Right.
It's always the opposite. It's always the women.
Yeah.
It's always the women who
And by the way,
are always, the men leave, the women never leave. But, in this scenario, she walked away, but you're working on it.
I have friends who've literally pulled the ring out of my hand.
Wow.
You know.
Like enough is enough.
Yeah. Not men, ladies. Ladies.
Ooh.
Yes. Come on, remove these things. You're chasing us away. Those are friends. We need to talk to you. We can't approach you. Come on. You lost your marriage. Why are you still holding on to it?
Wow.
You can see me, but I'm tall, dark, and handsome.
Yes, you are very tall.
Yes,
and dark and
sometimes
handsome.
you need to take some of these pictures and put on your WhatsApp so that somebody may know how I look like. Yeah, but the thing is this.
Yes.
It's not as if I've lacked ladies who I can approach. I'm a man, and it is said that men are potentially polygamous. Did you know that?
That's a conversation we were having yesterday. That
Yes.
that us as ladies, we have to accept that a man is either polygamous or promiscuous.
Yes.
No, do you
There's always
do you
that
agree,
aspect
do you
about.
agree on polygamy?
Let me just be honest. Inside a man,
Yeah.
there is a potential polygamist.
Yeah.
It is true. Whether they are Christians, Buddhists, whatever,
As long as it's a man.
as long as it's a man.
Yeah.
Because men are physical. Do you know that men are attracted just by the looks?
Yes.
Thank God I'm blind, but I'm still attracted by sense and touch.
Which is greater.
Yeah.
That's
even-
greater than the looks.
Oh my. And ladies who are humble and talk nicely, those people just sweep me off my feet. So the thing is this.
Okay.
I
Wow.
have to behave.
So it's what you're trying to say is even you have had the opportunities
Yes.
to step away, but you choose not to.
It is a choice.
Yeah.
Making choices in a relationship, Karigo, is a fact. And I will tell you, it's not that there are no ladies. It's a choice. It's a choice I've made, and choices have consequences, unfortunately. And now that I chose her, I've chosen to work all the way to the end. If a case of infidelity creeps in, I will put it down.
Thank God.
But since she keeps promising and saying, and I've not heard anything or seen anything, I'm still holding on. But if another man comes in and picks the whole thing, then I would lay down the battle.
Where do you believe couples go wrong?
They go wrong in so many things, especially African men. You know, there's this thing about, you don't have to, you know, when you are loving, you need to have breaks. That's where we go wrong as men. And unfortunately,
What do you mean you have to have breaks?
I have a lot of love in me. I don't have breaks. I can easily tell a lady I love you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
It's who you
then,
are.
unfortunately, I landed somebody who we don't have that chemistry. So I'm missing it. But many men would not be very, very keen on, you know, I love you to a wife and keep it to the very end. Many times they are, see, I said it, you know, many men would be that, you know, I told her, kwani,
Sinakwambianga, si unajua,
Do I
si
keep-
unajua.
yes, do I keep saying it? And this where now that lady that spoke about spiritual issues and whatever,
Yeah.
you know, that aspect of the devil now coming in.
Yes.
Yeah. You will find other people who will tell you, I love you, other people who will appreciate you. And unfortunately, most of them are focused on your your physical
physique.
aspect.
Yeah.
So many ladies are actually having boyfriends and the husbands are not aware.
Wow.
Yeah, they're having men.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yes, because these people tell you easily, I love you,
Yeah.
darling. You know, praise is dangerous. Praise a lady,
Yeah.
and that's it. So men are losing it on praising men, praising
women.
ladies.
So-
But I feel ladies are losing it on respecting their men and submitting to their men. You know, men don't understand. I will say that again. Many men don't understand the language of love. They understand respect. Just show a man you respect them. Oh, come on. You know, you will, you know, when you become strong-headed to a man, you've lost them. That's why men would go park their vehicles in places you can't even believe.
Yeah.
They would go to ladies and you're like, but this lady is not their match. But this lady has made this man feel like a king.
Yeah.
This lady may not have gone enough to school, but they're making this man just feel, wow.
Yeah.
That's it. For a man, the respect, apart from the physical aspect, works magic.
I have to complete this conversation right there. Ladies, you've heard it from John Simba, motivational Jonah. Wait. Jonah. By the way, my first ex was called Jonah.
Wow.
Jonah Simba.
Yes.
How to communicate. Thank you so much for having us, for being here. I really hope we can have this conversation again.
Yes.
I've been your host, Karigo Gatere. Stay tuned for uninterrupted music until tomorrow morning. Mwah. Good night.
Good night.
Spice.